Hey folks, NecroVMX here, and I wanted to do a quick little fun video, just something to just mess around for a little bit with my emulation folder. Um, you know, I've always, been fascinated by how much can be crammed into a cartridge. Like, you sit there and you play a game and you're like, especially later games, and you're like, wow, how did they get all this into one little tiny cartridge? And one way to see about how much is really in a cartridge is how big the game ROM file is. And I kind of wondered what are the biggest games for each system. But then I also wondered what are the smallest ones. So I got my folder here, and I'm just going to take a look at. Let's start with the Atari systems. Just see what the big. Now these Atari 2600 games are really small. You could probably fit them all on like an old floppy disk. So it seems that the fucking shit. Get out of here. It seems that the biggest is a game called Fatal Run for Atari 2600, and the smallest game is 3D Tic-Tac-Toe. I think I had that one back when I had an Atari. So let's see. For the 5200, let's take a look at the 5200. That's weird. I got a ROM folder and a ROMs folder. That's got to be a mistake. Oh, those are my BIOS and shit. It's been a while since I set it up. Okay, so the largest, well, some of these aren't games, but the largest Atari 5200 game is Zaxxon. No, it's not. Hold on. No, it's not. It is Zaxxon. No, it's Bounty Bob Strikes Back by Big Five Software, and the smallest is a BIOS. Is something called AE. I don't know if that's a game. Those Asteroids. Okay. The 7800. Kind of curious about this. I figured I might as well not only find out, but do it with you guys. For the 7800, MIA is the biggest game, and the smallest game is F14. Okay. Atari Lynx, which I've just started to take requests for. The biggest game is Pit Fighter: The Ultimate Competition, and the smallest game is Boing Demo. No, it's a public domain. Why do I have these public domain things? Oh my god, get rid of them. Oh, go away. Okay, it's Tetris. Tetris. I don't know what Tetris is, but it's the smallest game on the Atari Lynx. And the Jaguar. Oh boy, the Jaguar, which I've also just started taking requests for. White Men Can't Jump is the biggest Jaguar game? You gotta be kidding me. How do they even make a game out of White Men Can't Jump? Actually, a bunch of these are all the same file size. That's the one on the top. The smallest is Zoop. Seems like I have 2 copies of Zoop. Let me get rid of one of those. I don't need 2 copies of Zoop. Alright. Alright, let's do the Sega ones. Sega Master System. A lot of great games for it. Biggest game is Sonic Blast. That's not a surprise. And the smallest is Delete.me. I should then, I guess. F-16 Fighting Falcon. Yeah. Okay, let's go over to the what do you call it? The Game Gear. It's over here. The biggest game on the Game Gear is Virtua Fighter Animation. Doesn't sound like a game, but Sonic Blast is right there too. And the smallest is Columns. Okay, so that's not a surprise. I've played Columns. I'm not very impressed by that. Over to the Sega Genesis. Any guesses for the biggest game? It's Experts. Experts. Okay. And right under it is a Zinke Gaiwang. I think this just came out recently. There's like this new Genesis game. And the smallest... I didn't expect that. The smallest Genesis game is... that's Action Replay, Game Genie... Which one? I just find the game here. Art Alive. I guess it's something like a Mario Paint type thing. And I go over to the 32X. Where's my throw? It's at the top. Not a whole lot of games for the 32X. The biggest one is WWF Wrestlemania Arcade, and the smallest one is just sample programs. Looking for an actual game. Afterburner Complete. That's interesting. All right. How about Nintendo? That's really all that's left. Let's do the NES. Biggest NES game. It's probably Kirby or something. Oh, it's Action 52. Oh, God. Alright, Action 52 doesn't count. Neither does Maxi 15. So it's Dragon Warrior 4, Dragon Quest 4. Okay, that does make sense. Kirby's right under it. Okay. I didn't expect it to be Action 50. Alright, it makes sense, I guess. 52 shitty games in one. Look at the Super NES. Good lord. Just have to... There we go. Alright, the biggest game on the Super... Oh, okay, I have these zips, so they're not accurate. But looks like Star Ocean is the biggest game. Oh, there's the translated version. Okay, so Star Ocean, and the smallest game on the Super NES is... just looking for something that's not a BIOS or special ROM. You know, these are a lot of BIOSes and shit. Super Star Force. Okay. Actually, no, that's not a game. Actually, did I see what the smallest NES game was? I didn't look, did I? I didn't look at the smallest. Let me look at the smallest NES. Oh, what am I doing here? I'm losing my mind. I'm crazy. Smallest NES game is Donkey Kong Jr. That's not a surprise. That's a tiny little game. Alright, let me look at the N64. Kind of new to this. Ah, shit. Look at all this crap. Come on. Alright, the biggest N64 game, not surprisingly, is Resident Evil 2. Took me forever to download that. And the smallest is Asteroids Hyper 64. Okay, that's cool. Alright, that makes sense. I wasn't surprised by Resident Evil. Alright. And, because, I mean, that was like a 2 CD PlayStation game that they crammed onto an N64 cart. Game Boy. Oh my god. Alright, the biggest Game Boy game. What the hell? Some Japanese shit. It's Meteorot 5 Susataki Mura no Tenkausi Kabuto version. And, wow, okay. A couple of unlicensed games in here. I should probably get rid of those. I don't need them. Wario Land 2, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. That's pretty big. And the smallest on the Game Boy is... Oh, some of these are save files. Alleyway. Okay. That's not a surprise. Alleyway's like a tiny little game. Okay. Game Boy Color. Game Boy Color. I'm just having fun here. I figured you guys can join me with this. Alright, biggest Game Boy Color game is Densha the Go 2. Twice as big as the second one, which is Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters 3 Sensei Senshin Koren. Whatever the fuck that means. And the smallest one... These are save files. Duck Hunt. It's not a surprise. How do you play Duck Hunt? NES conversion Duck Hunt? That's gotta be unofficial. It says C. That means it's Chinese, doesn't it? Alright, so what's the smallest actual game on here? That's like a real game. There it is, Elmo and Groundschland. Oh wait, no, yeah, Balloon Fight Game Boy. Wish I would have seen... Oh wait, no, there's one. Shituku Racing. Jesus Christ, and there's Roadsters 98. How did I pass all these? Okay. Game Boy Advance. Let's do Game Boy Advance real quick. Such a nerd. Alright. Biggest Game Boy Advance game. What is with these Yu-Gi-Oh! Games? Yu-Gi-Oh! Yugi vs. Joey Volume 1. The biggest non-Yu-Gi-Oh! Version is Yggdra Union. Biggest game here that I've heard of is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And the smallest game on the Game Boy Advance is... Just trying to find something that's an actual game here. These are save files. No, that's a sample. Whatever the fuck that means. Animal Crossing Balloon Fight. Well, that's not really a... That's a... Not really a game. You have to have Animal Crossing. There it is. Slime Morimori Dragon Quest. Wait, is that a save file? Yes, it is a save file now. Okay. Shit. Shit. There it is. No, that's a sample. I need to get rid of some of this shit. But who wants to go through all this? You know what I'm saying? Curvy Slide Puzzle Promo E. That's an E-card thing. Good lord. Here it is. Puyo Pop Endless Version. Okay. That's pretty much it, right? Well, yeah. Little peek at my emulation folder. And just in case you were wondering what the biggest games and the smallest games were. You probably weren't, but now you know.